take you guys today for a walk and talk on the beach, and I guess I'll talk about the, what is it, 96-97 NBA Lockout, and what a Hippie managed to accomplish on this edition of Hippie versus Jock. Alright folks, guess I'll go ahead and discuss the 1996-97 NBA Lockout. For the most part, it's kind of weird. Growing up, didn't really play basketball. At some point in time, I actually had a growth spurt, and believe it or not, it was on Burger King Whoppers, or where my growth spurt happened. Didn't play much basketball. Used to be a guy who got up under the weights a lot when I was young. Used to come out of the weight room in my high school in Detroit and basically call for somebody to give me the basketball, jump up and basically dunk off vert. More or less kind of like what you saw in my video. It was like Dad's dunk. Can't really get up like I used to, but you know, for the most part I can still do it. And at 6'3", I know and have met a lot of guys at 6'3" that can't do that, and they're half my age. So, you know, call it for what it's worth. Somehow, some way, once I moved out to Southern California to start college, I met my homeboy Larry. You know, I used to work at theaters and manage a lot of movie theaters over the course of time, and at this time I was working at the Hollywood Galaxy, which doesn't exist anymore. For those of you familiar with Southern California and Hollywood, on Hollywood Boulevard, it's basically a block away from where the Mann's Chinese Theater, or I guess it's called the Groman's Chinese Theater, is now. Well, anyway, he got to talking crap like my homeboy Larry does to one of the other workers at the complex. Before you know it, we need to get a basketball team together to save face. So anyway, my homeboy Larry asked me if I played. I was like, well, no, not really. I used to shoot around with my brothers, and you know, maybe a little bit in middle school, but you know, I didn't play basketball. Being I was the biggest and tallest guy, actually I don't know about the biggest guy, but I was definitely the tallest guy in the theater. You know, it's like, yeah, we need somebody like you to come out and play. So, you know, we're gonna get together at Hollywood High and we're gonna have a practice. Brought a lot of the guys out from the theater. Sure enough, they throw me the ball. I jump up and dunk it, and he looks at me and he was like, you gotta be fucking kidding, Big Money, you don't play basketball. And I'm like, no. And he was like, you dunked like it was nothing. And I'm thinking, honestly, it didn't feel like much. It's like between lifting weights and having a little height on me, it was easy. You know, yeah, I used to leg press for days back then. Yeah, it was nothing. So for the most part, he was like, screw this, we gotta get you playing ball. Nevertheless, I'm a clumsy person. Messing up, fumbling the ball and stuff like that. We fast forward. His younger brothers, one went to Cal State Dominguez for 4 years, the other played in college as well as overseas, and actually was good enough to get a tryout by the Miami Heat. For the most part, once my homeboy Larry, who used to ride my ass, by the way, because I think he always thought I should be a hell of a lot better than I was, considering me being kind of a force down low. I was not exactly small for a basketball player. Talking about guys being tiny. They're usually like 180, 190, at best 200 at my height of 6'3", and I'm running around 250, 240-ish, maybe even higher depending on my body fat level. But I wasn't a scale person, so I couldn't tell you. I might have been up in the 270s for a while, I don't know. Once basketball started, I doubt it. But they managed to take me playing on a fairly regular basis with them, and being that they played, you know, D1 and D2 people and managed to meet a lot of pros and stuff like that, I guess over the course of time, those Saturdays that we used to go out and play, a lot of that stuff started rubbing off on me, especially once they ended up in college and used to take me, and I would have scrimmages with players. Honestly, I never felt I should have any business playing against, but I knew my role. I wasn't going to be like a straight offensive person. I was pretty good defensively, because dudes used to basically have problems with me because I was a decent size. I could run. I could jump like not too many people out there, and I could defend. We didn't have an outside shot. I actually ended up developing that, which leads me up to 1996, 97 lockout. By then, I think a lot of my homeboys were in school or playing pros overseas, and sure enough, it happened. Went up to UCLA by myself, because my homeboys were, I guess, whatever they were doing. And I managed to play with NBA players. Now, sure enough, when I first met these guys, honestly, I didn't know. They were a lot taller than I was, which isn't a big deal, because a lot of the homeboys that I played with over the course of years, especially at the higher levels in college and stuff like that, they are a lot taller than me, usually 3 inches or more. And I got an opportunity to play with NBA players in a game of 21. If you don't know what 21 is, you probably should take a look. It's kind of like an individual competition where more than a few people are playing. And the guys I played against, I know at least 2 of them were on the Spurs. I'm not sure where the other ones played, but the funny thing is, I was winning games of 21 against NBA players. And all I can really say is, although I never really felt like I belonged, at that point in time, you just kind of put your big boy hat and your big boy underwear on and you play. And I guess that day I played my ass off because I kept winning games. And when all was said and done, they're shaking hands, they're asking me where I play. And I told them, I was like, I don't play anywhere. It was like my homeboys are the ones that play basketball. You know, I never really felt like I had the entire attitude for what it would take to be an absolute great basketball player, although I got pretty good for me. And not many people can actually share an accolade of saying you stepped up, played NBA players, and won. And I guess the highest compliment one of the guys could say to me, he laughed and said, man, honestly, I don't really think you could shoot, but you got that Tim Duncan thing going on, because that day, it was a hell of a lot of bank shots. And I guess that's it. I guess for the most part, I guess believing in yourself is the first way and one of the main things it takes to become great, because if you don't believe in yourself, I'm not sure who else will. And that's my story. A hippie was able to take on NBA players and actually win. So that's it. And hopefully you guys have a good day. And as always, thanks for watching.